Hey everyone, I'm Tassinix, and welcome to another episode of Plotting and Scheming. I'm here with Dagger and TJ. We're recording a little earlier than usual, so it's a bit less onerous for everyone. How you guys doing? Thanks for being here. Y'all there?
I am good. I am just a little jet lagged from all the reading. I felt like I had to go from here in Arizona to Florida to read the entire kit of one new GL coming out.
Yep. And where we are right now in time, guys, sorry, Dagger. Where we are right now in time, guys, is the Leia kit just got announced today. So we're still just around the corner from her being released, but we have the word today. All right, Dagger, sorry, go ahead.
I'll just say I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy, except for maybe Tass. But, yeah, man, I felt like I said this in our chat, I felt like I had to get another college degree for this kit.
Mm-hmm.
God.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot, guys. All right, so this is the preview week. Obviously, we don't have the previous to go on, the previous week in review to talk about what we learned and what we're taking away and all the good stuff. So we decided to have this more long-form conversation about what we're actually prepping, like just board strategy, characters, teams, whatever we're really lining up to implement at start of season. So, yeah, we're just going to kind of open the floor and let it flow. I mean, I think the early part of the conversation is going to be dominated by Leia, so I guess we might as well just face the music and get that one out of the way, guys.
Yeah, just read my synopsis in our chat about the kit.
All right, I will find it and literally read it for you. I will literally read it out.
It just says the basic.
No, that's
too
much.
No, the basic does dumb stuff without with extra steps. First special, do dumb stuff. Third special, target Drogon. Lead, an essay on how to win a fight, part 1. GL unique as normal. Unique 2, essay number 2 on how to win the fight.
Yeah.
That's it. Like, God, it's so many words.
It's a huge kit. They are really quite upfront about it in the sense that, you know, you're going to be using this on offense. There are way too many decisions for the AI to properly make use of that kit. I'm sure that, you know, they said that it will, you know, be functional, and I believe that it'll be functional. And, you know, you can still lose to anything, but it's really it's too much. It's too much for the AI to play well. So you're going to be using it on offense almost exclusively, but it's going to be super damn powerful. So I think we've already copped to what sucks is that there's just a crap ton going on. But you know, are there any other big glaring negatives you see up front? Because I do want to go into all that's pretty exciting about that kit.
The only thing.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Dagger. It's okay.
Oh, I was just gonna say I don't have any more negatives to add, just uncertainty, because we know 3 of the characters on the team, and probably because she calls out specifically a Jedi tank, we're looking at Kanan or Old Ben because they have like, you know, manual taunts.
Yeah.
But the uncertainty of who's going to be on the team and what this is going to pull away from, I'll let TJ go a little more in depth in that. But we were saying, like, what if it takes Rex and Kanan? Right?
Yeah,
What if it just kills the Phoenix team?
Rex and Kanan. Yeah, I mean, we've seen this before where there's been a meta that was like a super concentrate, but it doesn't usually last long because there's a value problem it creates. So I would be, you know, I guess I shouldn't say that I should be surprised because they're definitely continuously trying to break new ground with what they're doing with, you know, these new character kits. So, all right. Seems fair. I think that, you know, when you actually do get used to using it on offense, man, I don't know what you can't stomp with that. That it looks insane. Like, you can just at will decide that your tank is just straight up worthless. Like, I am just going to crush its guts. No thoughts, no additions, TJ?
It's so if we're gonna look at anything, and here's the thing I was going off of, right? We see how big the Rebel faction is, right?
Yeah.
And the fact that we're going on the manual offense side. What if this brings such thing as, I don't care, the bros? Because out of attack returns are going to be a big thing here.
Yeah.
What if it brings? What if it's your imagination gets to go wild? What if we want to forgo it? It's unfortunate. I know why they did it. Getting STH in there, and he taunts and he starts a thing up where we're messing with turn meter all over the place now because he's getting hit, which is pulling turn meter and giving your turn meter to your team, which is already taking in.
No, I like that.
It's just there's you lose some of the mastery, but I could think of at least like C3PO, right? Yeah. And now everybody's got translation, and they've also not only got that, but they've got Drogon's his mass assist call out. So now you've got two different people doing full mass assist, and they're ramping their damage as it's going along, and that's feeding into Leia's stuff, right? So it's like, who cares that there's not a tank on the team? It calls it out, but I foresee many loops that may be coming from this.
Well, surely anything that you're talking about with like a concentration of like a couple teams worth of resources into this team, you're talking about doing that, like, I assume for defense, like for defensive sake. Like, you're trying to find a way that it's like, you know what, if you set it up like this, it'll actually do well. Because we've certainly seen, things like that in the past, where it wasn't necessarily meant to be great on defense, but you could put something together that actually made it pretty effective.
Here's my problem with it. And I think Dagger made one perfect call when he said the gas effect, right? Yeah. So the gas effect being, sure, you can bypass my taunts, but if you don't knock my gas down and you're gaining all these buffs, my gas is saying, thank you, I have another. And if he's standing up the entire time, taking that stuff in, he's going to eat your team up. So now I can take a B team like Gas, which is unfortunate to say a B team, and now I'm killing your GL. The concerns there that if you're doing all of these things, what if it ends up being something as simple as Tuskens, right?
Yeah.
You can't manipulate their cooldowns, but you can manipulate the team.
Yeah.
So
you can manipulate turn meter on them.
That's what I'm saying. These are things you can do.
Once per turn. Once per turn you can.
Right. And that's true. But if I lock your team down, obviously I can't lock down Leia, but if I can lock your team down and put it away, I just put away a GL using something minute. And here's the other thing. What if I take a high AI priority target, right? I don't give a hell. We take LV, right? But I put Yoda on the team. I put Watt on the team. I put one of these other targets that we know has a higher priority, and Leia and her team just targets Watt. Well, I just eliminated all of my problems with your team by putting it on somebody weaker who doesn't need it. That's why I think. But you see what I mean? I take any of these weak characters and put it on any B team, and now I beat your GL. CG was very smart in calling it this way. Because,
they were very upfront, honest. No false advertisement on this.
They've done the hold harmless and saying, did you put it on defense? Well, that was your bad. We told you in the beginning it is not meant for defense because these, like you said, every decision tree has its own decision tree. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, there's so much complexity to the
Any human's going to go in, like Dagger will say, he said it's reading a book, right? Dagger's going to play with it 3 times and know exactly how he wants to do it against what team and be just fine. The AI will never figure that out. And that's where I think the concern is like, as we prepare, right? So let's talk about Tash, you or Dagger I or whatever. We're going through, okay, so we want to set the board up, right? Well, let's put Leia in the back. Well, what are we going to use to draw these counters that would take away a Leia? What's stopping your team, right? What are you really pulling that's going to do this? We don't know right now, but based on the kit and the way it's read and how difficult it is for a human to understand, an AI that is Dread is designed to basically protect itself. How does it protect itself? If you can't force it to go after a taunt because now it can bypass taunts because it has call to action, how do you control that? That mechanism now moves around because it's going to want to go after priority. Well, let's say on the Gas team, priorities like, let's say it's Rex. And so they stay on Rex the entire time. They're going after Rex. Gas is still standing laughing at you and now kills your whole team. It's just these measures that I think are there. We obviously need to see it play. But I think one of the key things I know Dagger will agree, he's a different point, and I wanted to talk about it because I think he's got a really good perspective. I think the big key piece is that week 2 is going to be absolutely insane for everybody. Week 2 is the week de la weeks of the year for us. It will be Christmas for Swigo. And I'll pause on that point, but I just wanted to bring that up.
Specifically for the halves.
Yeah, for the halves. I might.
For the halves, not. You can all get fucked.
I will be able to shell out on stuff on Friday for, seeing what I can get towards Leia. I don't think there's enough shards available right now, from Friday morning when the weekly resets already occurred, for me to actually go from 4 stars to 7 stars for the following week. So it looks like it's like a week 3 at best for me.
I think.
Well, marquee packs are still around.
Oh, are they? Okay, good. All right.
I just want to say,
I think at least one of them will.
I think Dagger has one of the best outlooks for anybody who's listening to this, and I'm going to give you the in-betweens, right? Dagger can be a whale, but he can be a whale with a strategic setup, and I think Dagger's got like the best viewpoint. I think someone in my position, where I'm rank 15 or something like that, or Tass's position, who's literally the top, right? Are in a situation where you almost can't be in a don't have situation versus somebody who may not be in that very, very tippy top and fighting against people where you can make a decision based off necessity. You can necessitate where you want to put your resources versus somewhere like me. I'm going to have to go all out trying to get everything all at once. If I don't, I'm at a strategic disadvantage based on who I'm facing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, a couple of notes just to wrap up the
go ahead. Yeah, I want to make sure you got
AI
to.
Stuff. Oh, yeah. Like, C-3PO is going to be kneecapped because of the immune to cooldown reduction, or immune to cooldown manipulation, which also means reduction. So, he's going to be slightly kneecapped. Not that he won't be good on some versions of the team, but, I mean, that was one of the things I think they put in there to make it so he is less desirable on the team to leave him on CLS.
Right. And now with Lobot, do you think that opens up some new sortie team shenanigans that amounts to something?
Yes,
maybe.
I 100% do think if you want to do Lobot, putting it on the sortie is going to be. Lobot was built for sortie.
What are some Lobot mods for myself and for the good people out there?
Just offense.
It's just basing off. I'd have to go. Mine's still R3 because I can't afford it right now.
Yeah.
His kid is. I don't want to say nothing special, but this kid is just generic enough where a good offense set. You don't need a ton of speed. You'll be assisting and gaining turn meter. Yeah. But just a good offense set will get you enough utility. And one other note on Leia is because her kid is so well structured. I use that term because we don't know exactly how good it is or how it will play out yet. Mm-hmm. But because of the structure of it, TJ got hit on it too with wigs. This team looks like it could be incredibly cheap on offense.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right, like you might be able to underman stuff. You might be able to Yeah. Yep.
It's the other piece of the pie where I know you use the word structure. I'm going to change your word, or I'm going to adjust your word. Funneled. They have funneled off characters. Like I said, I hate that they had to put scoundrels in there, but they wanted to keep your Han and Chewie out of the team. So they funneled
as they should.
Rebel scoundrels. And it's not a bad... I hate and I love that they're doing it. I hate and love that they're doing that setup. And I hate and love it because we can't use that CLS team. But man, would it be so much fun to use that CLS team. It's also like, well, what if I wanted to use, I don't care, Kara. You know, she's a rebel scoundrel. So it's like, there's all these other characters that got impacted as well, but they funneled it off to say, if you want the most mastery, you're not going to use them.
Yeah.
I appreciate how CG continues to tell us how shit Kara is.
Man, I'll tell you what, I really enjoy that character. I really get a lot of use out of her. Good use.
Yeah, I mean, if you have the Salome, you can do some stuff, but yeah, she's just not good enough in today's era. She's a squishy tank, and she doesn't do enough damage to be like a quality attacker. She's just like a tweener. So on Saw, she worked well because of the stacking damage, plus she tanks a little bit. I don't know.
She also does it on Sana. She can have a lot of good stuff.
Sana's another just really bad team.
But it's still there. But it's still there.
Sana will have her time. She will have her time. Something will come.
She will eventually get her guitar.
Fair.
Something will come.
Yeah, and just to kind of touch on what TJ was saying about the whaling, like we were kind of in our pregame for this.
Yeah.
I mentioned I'm going to probably unlock Leia the same day as Malicos.
Right.
And I have gear budgeted and relics budgeted for Malicos, who is a defense team. And I'm pretty sure my Gear 12 Leia can beat something on offense.
But I think it's the other key piece, right? Because of where you're at in your ranking. The people
I'm not in the top 20 right now. Yeah.
Exactly.
How many people without Leia?
Exactly. So it's like, I think CG was amazing, and I compared it for when we were discussing it. I compared this to the time when they released a GL and a new capital ship, right? And everybody was freaking out because you had to spread your resources so thin to get everything, because it's like these are game changing on both events.
Yeah.
Here, they're putting it into characters who are basically a GL who's going to do GL stuff, which is true. But if you can't afford to do both, and you really like GAC, you can just go for Malicos. She's gonna be amazing. You're not impeding yourself. And
he's the defense team,
and that's what I'm saying,
more
right? This guy is gonna be amazing. He's gonna be a great character. It's the way he's built and the way you can look at his stuff, and he has so many places he can work. You will not go wrong in getting Malicos and saying, all right, I'm gonna eventually keep working on my Leia, but I'm gonna get Malicos now. I'm gonna relic him all the way up. We're gonna make him bang, and he's gonna be beating everybody up. Dagger, being what'd you say? You're like what, rank 290 right now, Dagger? He can make
something like that. Mid 200s.
You can make this decision, right? You don't have to feel like I have to have everything right now. That's what CG's trying to do. This is their way of trying to get that ROI on you. And Dagger can make an informed decision that says, "I'll wait and see what she does." But Malicos, now, that's awesome.
Well, and we've talked about this before. At least TJ Tass and I in our chat that. I was so wrong. I'm going to cop it. I was so wrong on when we were getting Leia because I was budgeting to have the gear ready in 2 weeks when I thought they were going to drop her. So them dropping her now caught me out because I first of all, I had to relic her requirements because I got my bonus. I finished up her requirements.
Sure.
And I thought I'd have time to, hoard a bunch of stuff for that.
Yeah.
And I don't have the ability to finish her, probably. We'll see. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting quandary for I think some people who are in my position, but I don't think there's many people in my position. I think a lot of the people who are ready for Leia are just like TJ said, just you're all in already.
Yeah, fully ready. I expect that there's gonna be a lot of people that have and a lot of people that have neither.
Yeah. But yeah, I'll have Malicos at R9 day one.
Nice. Yeah, I'm planning on that as well. I too am not prepared for Leia, but I mean, I'll be, I'll definitely be able to just get her to R7 at least with 6 Zetas and everything. I'd be able to do that at the very least.
Yeah. I will have both. My only thing is, and I see Dagger said R9.
I forgot about Zeta.
I will have R8. So I will have R8. Right, there's no way for me to R9 everybody, but R9 Leia is happening. That's a day one. The minute I have her, I will have her R9. Malicos, Dagger, you're not the first one to call it, and I could be easily swayed to say R9. Right now, R8 Malicos.
Yeah.
But R9 sounds perfectly reasonable based on his kit, right? Everything is built into it to say you want to R9 this character.
Well, that whole team is a stat monster team. They get so much health, protection. They get all that protection up to start. It's like the 500 more offense you're going to get is going to be relevant because his kit is like 19 different ways to stack offense.
Yeah, I'm glad you guys are touching on this point because I know you were talking about that earlier. I'm glad we're catching this for the people.
Well, and it's the other piece too, right? If he's not on the Seer team, where is he? He's on the LV team. He has room there. And LV loves his relics. So it's just another reason, and the way he builds into his kit and stuff like that, he can go many places and do so many things that it's not at all a bad investment to push this much into him. He's going to hurt you, and he's going to upset people with what I expect he's going to do.
Yeah.
He's going to complicate some TWs if you decide to put him a Star Killer, though.
That's true.
Fun fact, Juhani just says non-First Order, non-Empire, so Malicos might get redeemed instead of Star Killer.
Yeah, I was going to say, didn't I see a thumbnail? I didn't get a chance to watch the video or anything. A thumbnail of an Arnold video with something to do with Malicos and Star Killer? And I was like, huh, yeah, I'll have to.
There's a
I'll have
Darth
to
Vader
read
lead
about
team
it.
running around with like old Ben that looks super sick.
Ooh.
It frees up EPMJ, but again, we're not at the point where we need more teams, so just use the best version of Starkiller, I guess, which at least right now is EPMJ.
But that's what I
Yeah.
mean is that we only have so many teams we need for defense,
Right.
or we turn those teams into new defenses, and we're obviously getting more offensive tools. So it's just it. There's so much. I don't know, man. This next week is going to be bonkers, and I would even say I think we're 99% sure it's happening, even though they haven't said it. Thursday, we're getting it. That's going to lead right into new TW weekend. So there's going to be a lot of. If I would expect anybody's got to lay up and going, even though it may not be a defensive one, it'll still probably be a defensive one.
Yeah.
Because the rule still stands.
There's a fair chance based on the data mine that it's not tickets through energy for this one, because there's a lot of people with like 2 to 3K energy that are just ready to alter day one.
I'm right there.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like we play it to
alter day one. Really? You're ready for that, TJ? It's crazy.
Maybe not to alter day one, but just to R9 or day one, and then get to alt.
Okay,
but
I
don't know where it's at. But here's the thing: the Swiggle rule has always been put it on defense and let the next guy figure it out.
You're right.
I buy it so you can figure it out. That's the rule. And so it's like, if we get him up and running, you're going to see a wall of some stuff out there, and people are going to try to figure it out. Ult or no ult, we don't know what we're getting into or what it's going to take. So, and I'm sorry, but Season 10 is the season, as Dagger calls it, explode. This kit is an explode kit, now giving armor penetration on top of millions of percents of offense and everything else stacked in with an R2 sharing more offense. Going to be bananas.
Fingers crossed she's special damage, just for the sake of this set and Datacron.
It says physical, sir. She is she is all over the place physical. It is physical, and more physical.
Oh man, this team is already just built like. Just reading her kit and looking at who's going to be on her team and the possibilities, she may have the most useless ult of any GL in the game. Because if you ever have to hit that button, you've already lost.
There's so much offense. And it's like set 10 is not... set 10 was... I don't know if... maybe just like by happenstance it did this. But I keep saying it. You put a Rex and a Kanan, and then let's just say you give the Phoenix the damage immunity. Well, there's those two. And you put the turn order correctly, dude. The amount of... holy shit that's going to be going off. I agree. If you have gone to this thing and the fact that you can't stop what's coming because you can't cooldown manipulate.
Yup.
Oh my god, man. The fact that you can't stop it, and then like JMKs are waste now. Oh, you want to give your cat the immunity to get reset? Well, let's stop that right there. That's done.
What a way to make JMK an ops only GL.
Just in one kit, right?
Asshole.
Yeah, it said.
Jabba before this too, right? Like, the people put Jabba on defense. Instead, I'm just saying, like, every new GL that comes out is just, oh, the fuck's a JMK? Dead?
Yeah.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
It does look like they utilize that as the ultimate set off, right? It doesn't call out like LB. That's what I'm saying, right? It's like Leia said, "Oh, you want to reset something? Here, hold my beer. All right, you can take your 8 turns whenever you're ready." It's bananas, man.
Yeah, man. And here's the thing, like we talked about this someplace else. It wasn't in our chat, so I'll bring it up here.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
More GL. I think getting a new GL is cool. I'm far less excited for this one than I was for like my 5th or 6th GL. Because this is just an extra tool. Like we keep harping on there's too many teams. So this is just another tool in your toolbox. Yeah. Granted, it's, blunt force trauma to the head kind of tool, right? Like whatever. Yeah. But I'm less excited for this GL just because of the board size. Not because I don't want another GL. I felt similar with Jabba. I think the last one I was super excited to get was like Lord Vader.
Yeah.
Because he felt like he filled a need that I was missing.
Makes sense.
And since it's just...
I think you have to
What's your
go into
thoughts on
the
that?
fact of what they're doing is basically, I'll call it this way, Ray GLs. Yes, they're putting stuff in that's interesting. What I don't like is I don't like non-simple. And what I mean by and I'm gonna say it like this. I'm gonna say it like this.
God, your
Here's
sentences don't fucking like non-simple either.
right,
Jesus.
but here's why I'm gonna say it like this. There's a specific reason. The simpler the kit, the better the AI can handle it. I want stuff that does what it's supposed to do at the time, right? So that, hey, Dagger, I put blah 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 on defense. Go figure it out, and it just literally deletes you because it's simple. When you put things that are this complex, that have this much, yeah, it looks cool, but I want to put things on defense. I want to trip up and trick my opponent. I don't want to have to make these life-altering decisions on offense. So that's how, in my play style, what I like to do, I want to out-strategize you. And that is being a proper defense, in my opinion. So yes, non-simple is just something that I'm not looking forward to. And if I had to guess, most people are going to be along these lines where it's like, that's great, it's another GL, but man, this kit is so convoluted. It's so difficult. It is this many pieces. And even at this time, there's been a video out. We've had time to digest it. Nobody's fully digested it.
Yeah.
We have ideas. We have what it's supposed to do. That doesn't mean that's what it's going to.
And throughout this next week here, there's going to be all different kinds of scheming on it, and like you said, week 2 is going to be wild.
And what if Malicos beats the hell out of Leia? Then all those people with Leia were like, oh man, I just put all this money for a GL, and this Conquest character just beat the shit out of it, and it's just because we don't know. And I'm sorry, Malicos kit is not that hard. It does have wording, but that wording is with impact. And it doesn't have as near as many stipulations on what it can do and where it can go.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's got a few A or B options on it. Nothing nearly so intricate, but that's okay. I mean, it's, you're comparing some Conquest character to a Galactic Legend. You should think there's more going on, and that part's okay. It's just, and you know how it is. We're it's going to take a little time to digest, but we'll all get used to it. I mean, so basically, is any kind of GL... here's an interesting question I have. Well, first, Dagger, let's get you out of the way. What were you going to ask?
Oh, no, I was going to deviate from the GL conversation, but yeah, I was going to go more towards the planning. Go ahead. Sorry.
Sure, yeah, we can pivot to the next thing in a sec, but yeah, what I was going to ask was, what do you think would stand up to Leia on defense?
Ray?
Yeah?
Probably some comp of Ray. The DI, the ult, Whirlwind. Especially if you tried a non-tank version, have one getting somebody deleted.
Yeah, surely you would not try that in that instance, but yeah.
JML should be able to literally just piece that thing apart. Why wouldn't JML? Because you're just going to go under all the stuff that they're trying to do. They want to have all this stuff. Well, that's fine. I'll just hit you up with such and such.
Yeah.
I think a lot of these teams with the armor pen, like Lord Vader with armor pen, probably.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I mean, I guess we can talk in context of Datacrons. I'm just thinking in the rock, paper, scissors sense, like the team itself.
I think she'll be better than C, and I think that's the floor that we needed.
Okay.
Yeah, all right.
We
will see. Time will tell.
I'll take away the Datacron, and I still think your call. I think Gas has legs.
Yeah.
I think Gas has legs.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. All right. So now we're back to what beats Leia on defense.
Right. So if like I said,
you just asked day one, I would not try this team versus CLS if you see a CLS on defense.
All right.
Well, I have a feeling that if they target Drogon, you may just not have enough damage, and they have too much turn meter. Because you don't actually stop them from gaining turn meter. You just stop them from removing yours, I think.
No, I don't think...
I'd have to reread the
well, I think you said it's limited how often they can have their turn meter reduced, but I know the shtick is you can't have cooldowns manipulated, but you can absolutely be turn meter manipulated.
Right.
No, I'm talking about the CLS's turn meter gain, because as soon as Leia's like, you
Sure,
can't remove our TM anymore, CLS is like, thanks for all that extra TM for all the
Right, the
resist.
resisting,
Sure,
yeah, for
yeah.
the resisting.
Is that how it manifests though? Does it manifest as a resist?
It says detrimental effect, not debuff. TMR is a detrimental effect.
And
That's
it
my
does
understanding of
say
it.
you can do it one time and then it goes away for one turn. So if you target him twice, the second one gets resisted because you can't do it.
Okay.
Well, obviously we need to see it in
But
game,
that
right?
gives you turn meter is the important
Exactly,
part.
exactly. So
Yeah.
you can start technically a loop because you're stopping. You're basically playing on what they're trying to prevent.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember CLS versus Padme, where you just took literally all of the turns?
Yeah.
That's what I imagine. That's what I'm not saying CLS will beat it. I'm just saying day one, week one, I'm not trying to beat CLS with this team. I'm going to let somebody else try that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it won't work. I'm just not trying to try.
Right.
That
All
and
right.
gas.
Well,
Those
let's turn now into talking more about strategy. I mean, as far my notes on this will be fairly brief. I mean, I'm fighting Taro here. I'm rank 6, he's rank 2. So if I win, I get to stay in the top 10. If I lose, I'm almost certainly out. I think that, you know, the matches are all very highly tailored to my opponent, but as far as generalities that I'm bringing into the week, it's the last hurrah for set 9. So I'm going to play a good bit similarly to the end of last season and see what I can kind of toughen up, at least here for this first match against Taro, because you can usually force him into a tough, like, 1 or 2 positions. And I have to look deep. I just have to look deep into what he was doing at the end of last fives and just see if I can pick out something. And to that point, as far as board shapes go, there's usually just, I guess I haven't ever mentioned this formally before, but there's usually I guess 3 or so that I kind of run with. The first one is just, you know, that heavy defense up front, bottom front. It's honest. You don't know if you've got something big in the back, but what you do know is that, you know, I've set a lot up front here, and this is where you could expect the majority of the challenge to be. So the question is, do you get through everything cleanly, and are you able to deal with whatever I've put in the back? Maybe it's a GL, maybe it's not. It's probably not going to fall right on over, but it's probably nothing you can't handle if you've already gotten through the front. So there's that one, or there's the one where, you know, it's that invitation to clear. Like, you have no GLs up front, and you're setting teams that their history shows that they can use 1 or 2 different ways. So you're setting forks there and making them have decisions that you punish with something in the back plus whatever number of GLs you feel like. So that's another one. And then the third one, which is generally something more rare against the type of opponents I'm fighting, but you when you are scouting history, you're looking for what they're weak to, what they're failing against, what type of... when they switch up their defense. Like, for example, here in the last 3s, it was really interesting to see who would pull their Ray off defense and for which matchups. Like, when did they feel they needed to do that? So looking for not only what they drop on, but what they feel they need to work around, and just being aware of that. And so when you have that knowledge, you're setting the front wall with everything that you think they're weak to, specifically. It's not necessarily about forks. You can have them up there, but the whole idea is exploit. You know, it's just see if they're going to fail, and then you have real serious threats in the back, depending on how much of what they fail against up front is made out of GLs. Like, if they're failing more in GLs, maybe you're setting more GLs up front, less in the back. If they're failing on non-GL teams, you're still setting those up front, and maybe more GLs in the back. So those are kind of like my 3 main board shapes, and I'm obviously not going to say what very specifically I'll be doing against Taro, but I'll be picking more or less out of that hat and branching out from there. That's about it for me. Dagger, TJ, flip a coin.
Oh yeah, like
Dagger.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, go ahead, DJ. No, go ahead.
No. You're good. You this time. I've been talking a lot.
Okay, yeah. So one thing I'm slowly like needing to come to terms with, and this is going to sound so dumb to some people, like outweigh almost everyone outside of the top, like, 100. And that is not something I am used to. So, I mean, these last couple of years, I have invested a lot more into this game with my free time money. As you know, as we come back from COVID, my hobbies have dwindled. So, you know, I've been able to focus financially on this game a little bit. And I've caught up. That and the $520 for the raid for like 2 months has been great for the R8s and R9s. But yeah, it's when Leia comes out, I'll be caught up. You know what I mean? Like, for the first time, like we talk about how I'm smaller. I passed TJ. I saw that the other day.
Wow.
I don't know when that happened, but I passed TJ.
Wow. Bulking and beasting.
Yeah. And so I am one of the big kids now, and I have to like maybe start playing like one instead. Like, because we've talked ad nauseum, at least in our chats, about how I play so efficient. I have to play efficiently because everyone's so much bigger than me. Well, over the last couple of seasons, that gap has closed because of the 520 box. So only really the more chromium people have pulled away from me, like you and TJ. And I've caught like the Claw Patrol guys and passed the Claw Empire guys. You know what I mean? So it's a different headspace I have to get into. So I'm gonna have to like I picked TJ's brain the other day too, and like I'm gonna have to with both of you going forward. How do you actually do this when you actually have margins where you're ahead? As opposed to I'm behind and literally, because Taz, you remember, wasn't that long ago? Everything's just red on my side of the compare.
Yeah, that was me like 2 years ago. Yeah, I mean, I'm still fighting people that usually have either mod or serious Datacron advantage on me, and I mean, you know what I'm gonna say. The way is always the same. It's just the scout, man. It's you play the game more than you play, you play the man more than you play the game.
But you, being a consistent Mr. Whalson, right? You haven't been down roster position. And the point I'm trying to make is when Leia comes out, I'm not going to be behind roster position for like a month or two because I was like 2 months late to job.
Yeah.
Maybe a month and a half, right? Yeah. So I won't be late to this GL. The point I'm trying to make is I usually have a month or two where I struggle bust my way to just try and maintain. And I guess what I'm saying is this is the first time where it's like, I'm capable of keeping up because everything else is caught up. So anything I want to put towards this game can be put towards the important things coming up, as opposed to catching the rest of my teams up.
Yeah.
So it's just a change in mindset because I'm still going to be down Datacrons and mods to 95% of these people in the top 50. But I'll show you guys my compare for the week. I have like all green. It's super dumb. I'm like, and yeah, I'm in like the high 200s, but it's not going to get that much different until I get to the top 20, top 50.
Okay. Well, fine. I mean, I'm giving you what I can give, and I would just say it's just putting in the time on the opponent because, like the rank disparity thing, that kind of drop that you've experienced because you were short a key resource like that. I haven't dealt with that in some time. I don't think I can give you relatable advice on that straight up, so I'm not trying to bullshit you.
Well, no, I'm not going to have that problem is the point. Oh. I don't have to struggle bus without Leia. I'm going to have her immediately.
Well, then, yeah, then it is. Then it is especially what I said, the things that differentiate you. Yeah.
But again, the point I was just trying to make is it's a shift in mindset now, because I am one of the people who's now spending to get ahead, not spending to catch up.
Yes, I can see where you're coming from there.
Yeah, so now I'm going to have to, like, actually, like you said, do more scouting instead of just, like, save everything and hope I'm more efficient. It's a little bit more complex than that, like Cass has said, but he kind of outlined the three, what we'll call macro-style defenses already. So don't need to touch on those again. But yeah, those are generally the strategies. And then once you do that, my strategy would be save enough to full clear, averaging, like, 65s or 64.5 banners. And now I can actually like maybe trying to get into some more slugfest with people who are equal to me or even slightly smaller than me. And I look forward to that mindset shift, talking with TJ, who's more defensive based, and Tass, who's way more scout based, as opposed to me, who's more efficiency based.
Yep.
And I'll pass it on to TJ because I monologued for a bit there.
No, I think you're talking about an evolution though in the game.
Evolution.
I've never changed my style, right? So even if you say above me or below me, I wail where I want to wail. I play the game how I play the game. So that's I'm glad to see that you're coming up and doing that. The people I'm facing this week, I showed Dagger and Dash. I laughed at it. I'm facing a dude who's basically never out of top 8 in Brainiac, right?
Yep.
So I have to look at my play style, his play style, and play differently. That's just going to have to be what it is. And I'm going to have to try to catch him out based on whatever I can do. We're going into, I would say, week 4, and I'll say it like that, of the last round of 5, only because we still have all the same tools and toys that we did the last time.
Yes.
Obviously, the set 9 is going to be dying, but we have a more refined set 10 now, right? People were still at the point, but now these things are min-max where they need to be min-max. I don't foresee myself having any new toys. Like, my Drogon is ready to go. He's R8. He's got the Omi, so I've got him where I need him. And I think that's where it's going to be trying to exploit. Right. And like, getting the numbers up. I think one thing Dagger talked about, and I know Tass is a way different believer. I use hot utils religiously when I'm basing my stuff to get to things, to get the stats and the numbers I want to get. That's what I go for.
Please, for the love of God, have a 6-dot mod filter this time.
Nope, I'm never doing that just because I want to see your face, and I'm going to go find all my characters and make sure that they only have 5 dots just because of the old adage of, wait, make sure, this will be a spoiler, fuck Dagger. That is the rule of thumb when we're playing Swigo. It's actually FD at the end of the Swigo, and that's how do we get there.
As is
Really
tradition.
good for your guys' viewing pleasure in real time.
Yes, the pain, the watching your face of pain is one of my joys in life.
Yep.
But no, so that's I think I'm ranked 15 or something like that. I'm fighting people who are just above me. So my strategy going into this week right now is to try to learn, like I always do when we're starting a season. I try to watch all of the creators, get all of the little tidbits and info I can, learn and try to apply it. I fully expect 100 mistakes this week as we're going into it, and next week will be 200 because we have no idea what we don't know, and there's a lot we don't know that's going to be coming into the next week. So I'm just hoping for a 1 and 2 would be great. 2 and 1, phenomenal. I'm not expecting anywhere near a 3 and 0 this week. And then just if I can trick you, that's my goal. I want to catch you. Let me just catch you. I'm just going to get you.
Yeah, for your guys' viewing pleasure, I put my 8-man compare in our chat. You don't have to say anything out loud, but just get a chuckle out of all the green I have. I know I did. The first thing popped into my head was the Ray meme. I didn't know there's this much green in all the galaxy.
That's all right. If you want to go look at the opposite, if you want to go look at all the opposite, go ahead and look at my compare.
I did.
You guys, you're really okay. Fine, we're doing all right. We're doing it. No.
Hold by here, both of you.
Okay. No. I got you. Hold on.
You gonna put these on screen, Taz?
If you want, I'll put them all on screen.
I think it's
let everybody in on the joke.
This is why I said this is the speaking point of what Dagger said. I'm just going to go for Malicos because I can. And that's why I said, for him, that makes so much sense. Where I'm at, not an option. I need every strategic advantage because I'm not the whaliest of whales and I'm not into the Kraken territory. I have always been and always will consider myself a strategic whale. I will whale exactly.
I'm a strategic whale.
But it's true. I don't change how I play my game or I play the game. So where I need to invest, like Leia, I'm ready for her right now. And I will spend as necessary to have her ready right now. So whatever you put in front of me.
Hold on just a sec. I'm about to switch over the scene. And I think that if I do this, I end up losing you guys as a source. So you have to give me a second. Not audio input capture. It's what's the one that I need to add? Application audio capture. Yes. Add existing. Yes. Okay. Yeah. You're allowed. Yeah, that one. Add it. Okay. Add this. Talk, guys. See if.
All right. Let's hope it works.
Okay. It's picking you up in this source. Are we on the desktop source? Okay, great. Okay, TJ, we got you on screen right now. So
Yeah. Watch the joy.
I don't know if you see. I'm streaming here on Discord, so you guys can see the OBS.
I see my name with God.
Yeah, with
and Cal and Fear and and it goes all across.
Yeah, if you can zoom out a little bit, or unless you're just going to scroll across.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm going to scroll across.
I got one guy.
I'll slow pan it. Yeah. Jeez.
Yep.
Yeah, dude, this is.
Yeah, these are serious people. These are serious people you're fighting.
All the people I'm facing, some guild mates, some CP, which is cool. I don't. That's the name, but it's
if you end up going 2-0 in this bracket, I think it's you and Zio at the end, because Zio is nasty.
I would be excited, but dude, look who I'm facing. Let's say Brainiac.
Yeah.
Him to be outside of top 8 is ludicrous to me.
Yeah.
This dude lived in top 8, and he earned it. His way in there for a reason. Great player. Earned his way to the top and stayed there. So for him to not be top 8, mind-blowing. It's just all these different things. It's like, these are who I'm facing. I did it to myself, and as Tass will say, I love it, man. I love the thrill of the fight. But if you look at Daggers, it's a completely different game. And I'm sure if you look at yours, Tass, you're in my boat. Where it's like, you feel like, yeah, I'm a pretty accomplished player. I was like, no, you're not.
Mine up there.
What is this? I'm trying to get yours on screen, but it's like...
Really quick, Tass.
Why is it?
I want to hit you with this because you hit me.
Why is yours so low quality? The screenshot you pasted, like it's really pixelated and stuff.
What it is?
I uploaded it from my phone. Right. I download them to my phone.
Right.
Spoiler. It's illegible, but I'll still put up on screen for the folks. So,
but you have to understand, Dagger is a real low quality person,
dude. I'm telling you, dude. This is Japanese porno level of pixelation here, okay? You see what I'm saying? Like entirely illegible. Anything that isn't the lead
fine. Is this one better?
Man, just absolute tragedy tier.
Dude, all right, but you know what you can see? Colors.
There, I pasted it from the Hotbot DM.
Okay, there we go. We got you up clean this time.
Needy motherfucker.
Jeez.
But just look at the colors.
Man, you could hear the dot
because
matrix
you've said
printer.
This to me.
Yeah. All right, so let's see what we got here.
Because you've said this to me. You've said this to me so many times, and the people out there may not know this. I'm looking at your Drogon and Scout, and your poverty offends me.
Oh, dude, man, I'll tell you what. I'll see where I'm at on Friday, but I think it's going to be a good Friday. Right? You know what I'm saying?
Look at Dagger. You know he's standing in his underwear with the Superman cape, looking out at the sun. He's just like, dun da da.
I'm going to give Tass a cape so he can be super mad.
Yeah. No. What it is it's like I hear your mockery, and I listened for the tolling of the clock as we turn 1 hour yet closer till Friday morning. Because Friday morning is when Tass's self-discipline and self-imposed swugga budget refills. You see? You see? That's the key. It's not that the money isn't there. It's that Tass must exercise some level of self-control.
What I do like is that we're in the same guild. So whatever is happening, I'm going to see a Tassanex. This is going to start. All you're going to see is his name just pop up and fill my screen of what interactions are happening within the guild.
Man, why didn't Hotbot ping me? Oh, there it is. No, that's the... You bastard. Why aren't you linking me the whole thing? Let's go. Alright, let's see if this thing actually loads. Said it was going to take care of me like a week ago.
Yeah, it feels good. It feels good to be the one with all the green.
No doubt. Oh, yeah. Yeah, spoiler, guys. I mean, you're waiting here to see this, but what it actually is going to end up being is a bunch of red. All right, there we go. All right, here we go. Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
What trips me out is I'm looking at your people, and they're almost the 14 mark. We are at a point...
Yeah.
Where that was an entire guild, and now we're getting to the point where that's one person.
Yep. Oh my God. So, okay, it's Taro. This has to be Kabuki Warriors, Backstreet
It is.
Boys.
It's always. It is always.
Yeah.
Look at the guild. All you gotta do is look at the guild.
Nah. It's just it's the name. It's the name. It's always something. All right, you got Aesop there. You got Sasha
Hey,
Isha.
do you get the pun? Do you get the pun? Because they're back joining TW with 25 people. They're the Backstreet Boys. Backstreet's back.
I see. Yeah.
I'm not saying it was great. I'm just saying I understood the reference.
All right. Well, Kurtho Jairus, I think I fought him for the first time last season. That was an interesting match. So this guy must have, taken over someone else's account. If I went back deep into the history, I'm sure I'd find a different name on it. But like the guy has, he has an idea of what he's doing because he wouldn't be here if he weren't. So, DK, man. That actually surprises me. DK, I know. Huh? What's up?
It's not DK.
It's not DK? Who is it?
No. DK is not playing, man. That's what's his name from Clones? No, DK is not DK. So what it is that's what's his name from Clones Unleashed? I can't think. Who is it? Because DK was an old guildmate.
Yeah, we knew him in Vanguard way back when.
But that's not him playing. It's not him playing.
We have to go into the way back machine for that one.
Right.
It's but who it is, I can't think of it's our top guy for TW and stuff like that. Is who's doing it. Weevil is playing that account.
Oh, that's Weevil. Okay, yeah. So he messaged me and saying that he was hoping he could fight me early on this season. So
right,
it's
that's
like,
Weevil.
yeah.
Weevil is playing DK's account for him.
Got
so
you.
that's
a powerful account.
Well, hold on. Before EA, no one ever really switches accounts. I don't know what we're talking about. This is just us like making stuff up as we go.
Yeah. His name in game. His name. His real name is Weevil. Sorry.
He just changed his name. He just changed the in-game name. That's
what I'm saying. And I will tell you, DK in quotations, as I'm doing that right now. He really handles that account, man. So, but yeah, that's what's going on.
Yeah,
and then you got old Michael. Michael's just a standby here. So this is it, boys.
That is my Russian brother from another mother, because that man does exactly what I will do.
Is Michael Russian?
Is he Russian? I thought he was Singapore.
No, he's Russian.
Oh, dig that. All right.
That's RH Steel Legion, buddy. That's Russia. Yeah, he's Russian. So we talked all the time, man. And he is his own worst enemy. Him and I will go back and forth on how many times we have helped ourselves lose the match.
This guy's is 13.7, man. That is
I fought him some time ago. And he absolutely cleaned my goddamn clock.
Yeah.
Believe it.
He averaged over 65 damage against me on the ground. It was straight up embarrassing.
Mm-hmm.
He just walked in 2-man 3 of my teams. This was a year ago. Dude just absolutely clubbed me upside the skull.
Yep.
It was ugh.
That was what my first couple of matches.
These guys are the truth. These guys that Taz is fighting are the absolute truth. Mm-hmm. I fought some of them.
This is going to be a wild week, man. It's going to be wild.
Oh.
Here's the best part. Here's the best part. I hope to God I'm gonna have Leia and everything ready for the next week, because like TJ said, this is just a bonus week on the end of the last 5 season, because all the resources are the same, but the jig is up week 2, man. There's and it actually puts me in particular, for my style of play, at a serious disadvantage, because I really enjoy the week 2 scouting report when I get that week 1 data. So it gives me a really good informed perspective on what you're likely to do in week 2, because you've got the same resources in week 2 as you do in week 1, right? Right?
Bueller?
No.
So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. That's what I'm going to be doing.
Man.
So what else did we want to cover, by the way, guys? Oh, I'm sorry, Dagger. What were you going to say?
Oh, no, I just said it's absolutely beautiful, because having something that's happened week 2 absolutely favors TJ and I. So sit down, young buck, and learn from the people who know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And again, as I always say, don't spay and neuter your. They say the price is right. Well, just make sure you love your content creator. They are going to fuck up so much. It's going to be amazing, and we will just get to marvel in it. Marvel in their screw of people.
We fail. It's like scrubbing bubbles. It's like scrubbing bubbles for gag streamers. It's like we fail hard, so you don't have to.
That's it.
Tash would actually have Tash would actually have to stream for him to be called a streamer, right?
It's true.
Yes.
Actually, I did pretty good about that for most of last season.
Yes, you do have to consistently actually stream to be considered a streamer. Yes.
You do have me there. That's a very fair point. You really do. We do the best we can.
I will say though, with this week is just gonna feel borrowed because it's business as usual. All we're gonna do is find out the impact of setting up, right? That's really all we're gonna do. We're gonna find out exactly like how much we can blow up like bulk runs.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, like the information we're learning this week is just borrowed. Like you mentioned, Tess, it's just borrowed information. We're gonna have to give it back and relearn it next week. So if you're not at the top, just have fun this week. Win, lose, who cares? Mm-hmm. Do all your prep for next week during this week,
and
make sure you got all your gear.
And have confidence that at least if nothing else is accurate about the scouting that you're doing on your opponent for week 2, at least have the confidence that they're probably going to maintain the same proportion of defense. Like here, or they might +1 you, right? Like if they're going to have like 3 GLs on defense, now with this new one, they might feel a little cheeky. They're going to use her on offense, rotate something else that they usually keep for offense onto defense. You might see some JMK, you might see some JML, you might, you're going to see some mix up. They might +1 you, but you might reasonably expect in week 2 that it's not going to be too much more wild in terms of shape. The actual compositions are going to be very different, though.
Yeah, that actually brings something up. So, like, again, going forward, we can touch more on this in next week's review and prep for the next week. But just something to noodle over for you guys. We have, like, between us, we have, like, this, I don't want to call it a rule, but we have a standard of 3 or 5, never 4 when it comes to setting GLs. Right? Because 4 is kind of like no man's land. You might as well just save 4. You might as well just set 3. If you're setting 4, because your opponent will have enough to deal with all of them.
Yeah.
But I wonder what Leia does to that math. Is it still 3 or 5, never 4? Does it become 4 or 6, never 5? Right?
And if she does to the meta, if she does to the meta what you had said earlier, where she's just gonna make things like JMK, it's like, oh, well, I guess I don't put that on defense anymore. That means that we're still being driven to an ever more perfectionist level of banner efficiency. That's what I think the net effect is. Yeah,
so I'm curious to see how that changes, like the macro in which we use to go the umbrellas we use, right? Because like you alluded to a couple, like 10 or 15 minutes ago, we have like these 3 umbrellas for the defenses that we build, and I'm curious to see how those shift to when we get Malicos, because that's going to bring Seer up a level or 2, and then we're going to get Leia. So we're not just getting 1 team, we're getting 2. And we already had like 28 teams, so we only needed 22.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm looking at how do they combine this, right?
Yes, this has
been the meta of combination. It's you come up with your combo plate teams where it's like you have these 3 expensive characters that would have been like 3 different teams pushed into 1 super team. And while you can't do all of that with Leia, I think with like the Malicos, I think you can. I think there's going to be areas where they're going to try different things and see how it works, and does it really mess anything up. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't count anything out, but that's what I expect. I expect we're going to be getting a lot of combo platter type teams where it's like A and B and C, which would normally be out on different teams, and that's now a super team that's up front blocking the way. Mm-hmm. And you need to figure out how you're going to get around it. And does this do that, or does this stop that? And I also think it's going to be, how do you punish people trying to use Night Sisters on Jabba? Things like that, right? These are the other pieces where it's like, you're going to try to off-meta me, and I know it's coming because it's in your history, and you show as having a prevalence for that. Well, we're going to knock that out. Mm-hmm. And how can I stop you from getting that?
And this is the part where we shut down the stream because TJ's going to give away the milk for free.
Nope. There are things I am not giving, sir. We have been
No, I know. I'm just giving you a hard time.
But you know, because, right, there's certain things that while we give a lot, I will say we give a lot, there are things we have the blood oath that we will not be giving away.
Oh, yeah. We're walking up to that line right now.
No, we are not, because if you want to know, you can go scout it out, but it ain't going to be on here.
You want to know. Well, guys, we're closing up about on an hour here. I think it's a good place to start to wrap it up. Were there any other major points you guys wanted to hit on before we close it? And if so, let's, kind of limit it here to not more than 5 minutes, and let's get us done. Was there anything else you guys wanted to touch on?
Dagger, go first.
Sure.
Oh, yeah. Man, having to reevaluate teams like Bad Batch and some of that kind of stuff is going to really, really stink this season of fives, because, and I'm not, how we've talked, how we talked before, like, oh, you can Bad Batch that. It's like, yeah, but I have this other thing that can Bad Batch.
Right. Yeah.
How is this going to affect teams like Bad Batch or Geos or these teams that used to be able to flexibly beat teams that are going to, I should not slowly now, but quickly become much less utility based, right? So we're gonna have to be mindful of where your mods are going, because if let's say, for example, you go this entire week without using your geos, they're not getting better next week. Maybe divert some of those good mods if you got them onto something else you did use. But I think we're gonna have to start paying a little more attention to what we use and what we don't use, and start migrating our mods upwards again.
Okay, I can absolutely see that. That's a good point. And to your point, though, the good news about Bad Batch is whatever difficulty we experience here early on in the season, figuring out just where Bad Batch fits, we're cushioned by the fact that Set 10 is huge for Bad Batch. So you're buoyed by that. So we'll be able to, it'll be something where it's like...
God, that Omega Cron is nuts.
Yeah, you're going to curb stomp something, and then you're just going to be like, okay, I can see where this would be a little more limited without the cron. Like, you'll have a sense of that as you do it, because you've had so much experience using that team in fives without that cron. So the difference, the power difference, should feel palpable. You should be able to feel like where it's like, oh man, I just slapped the shit out of that guy there. There's no way I was doing that without the Set 10 cron. This guy would have not died on this turn that way without this cron. And then kind of, move that out as you go into week 2. Yeah. That's what I'm thinking.
Just something to note between week 1 and week 2. Just take notes to summarize. Take notes of what you use and what you don't use, and consider moving some mods.
That's a good point. No, that's a solid one. TJ, what you got?
All right, I'm going to say take Dagger's advice and throw it out the window. I'm just kidding, don't do that. I'm going to say a couple of things like this. I'm going to say, and here's where I'm kind of joking and I'm kind of not. Week 1 is not the same as week 2. Week 1, we don't have new toys and things like that. We are going to get an idea. That idea may go out the window, because into week 2, we can start to ask the question, if I have all the toys and you don't, what does that do to your GAC versus mine?
Yep.
Am I now at a tactical advantage because we have the same set 10 DCs or whatever it's going to be? But if I have this new advantage of a GL, Dagger made a great point of the 3 and the 5. Well, now that's gone. If you don't have the GL and I do, am I now at a bigger advantage to be able to put 2 more GLs on defense on you now? And I'm now moving into more of an all-in because I have all of the tools. If I have the Malicos and the Leia and you don't, so you get to now ask that question if you're spending the money and have all the resources to do the work. That's a very big, that can be a big game changer where something wasn't there and you have it now. So just pay attention to that. Like if Dagger goes all in and he has the Malicos and his Malicos is slapping, but I have both those, did that change the game on us? Did I now get that tactical advantage of saying, okay, I need to C. Well, I don't need C now. I can use Leia. So C and JMK and JML, all these other tools can go on because I have these other tools. So that's the only piece I'll add in. Where
so the cliff note of your point, the essence of your point is, pay attention to what you're doing this week, but don't get too deep into what your plans are for for your next week's matchups until you see when you're actually matched up, okay, what are the resources I'm bringing to the table in week 2 versus what did this guy bring?
Yep. That'd be fair enough. It's like I said, if I have it and you don't, what do I win?
Yeah, right. How does this overall shape the board? Yep, for sure. And then no, last note from me is pretty much always the same. It's always down to the scout, because especially I think a large part of this conversation here for this, I guess, podcast is talking about the haves and the have-nots with the resources. And as you get further up the ranks and virtually everyone has all the toys all the time, the mods, even the modding is going to be generally pretty similar. So it just comes down to the person, who you are fighting. What do they like? What are they weak to? How do they want to play it? Do you want to play into the way they want to play, or do you want to upset their expectation by completely flipping it on them and making them play against their style? All of these different questions, it takes time to kind of sit and think through. But once you get into the practice of that deep scout on your opponent, it's something where you can have it done like front to back in under 2 hours. But there's a lot of questions that you want to sit there and be able to ask while you're looking through its stuff. So just do your homework on people and enjoy your cushion week, this first week, because it's wild from here on out. Like it's about as good as it's going to be. So as always, sorry, go ahead, man.
I have one piece of personal advice for you, Tass.
Sure.
I think that you could take a lot of advice from Paris Hilton circa 2005.
Yeah.
Just stop being poor.
It's true, man. I'll tell you what. Come Friday, I will have been a good man and abided by my budgetary rules, and will reward myself thusly. All right. All right. Well, anyways, you're a piece of shit there, but thank you, and as always, TJ, for making the time to be available with us here tonight. I really enjoyed recording this earlier with you guys. I don't know how much this can be done in the future. I don't know how much we can do this in the future. I mean, the only inconvenience to me is that I'm probably like doing my climbs like during the shooting, but we flip between different screens as needed, so it's not a big deal. But I enjoyed this, so thank you both so much. And for patrons, this will be up first thing in the morning. I'll get it uploaded, just as soon as we're off air here. For all of our followers here on YouTube, otherwise, this will be available on Friday morning. So until next time, it's been real. It's been awesome. It's been real awesome. Take care.